Ready to get going? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this a regular session to the Zoning Board of Adjustment to order. The time is currently 6:32, and we do have a quorum present. First item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from April 2nd, 2025, regular meeting. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. We have a motion. Do we have any motions?
I second the motion.
Motion to approve.
Rick Lewin is going to do a motion, and second by Carmen.
Yes.
Please vote now. Motion passes 5-0. Other business on the agenda is to receive an update and provide feedback on the Lewisville 2035 Vision Plan, presented by staff.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I think a few of you are actually on our steering committee, which is great, so this will be kind of repetitive, but I wanted to make sure that everyone had the information. So I'm going to go through my presentation, but because so many of you are actually on the steering committee, I'm not going to make you do the activity again. Instead, I will just ask those of you that are not on the Lewisville 2035 steering committee to go ahead and complete those worksheets on your own time if you so choose. It's not a requirement, just a request. But the Lewisville 2035 plan is an update to our current vision plan, which is called Lewisville 2025. It's obviously the year 2025 right now. It's our centennial year. And so it's time to go ahead and plan for the future and look to the next 10 years. So we're going to do a quick overview of the plan. Like I said, I'm not going to do the engagement exercise with you tonight because I think half of you have already done it. So I'll just point you to it, and then you can complete that if you at home or wherever at your leisure, if you so choose. So for the Lewisville 2035 Vision Plan, this is going to serve as both our comprehensive and strategic plan. What that means is that it's going to guide not only land use and zoning decisions, but also city budget decisions and staff priorities and work plans. So this really is an all-encompassing plan that impacts all of our departments within the city. And as such, it can address a range of issues from housing, neighborhoods, access to parks and open space, economic prosperity, development types, transportation. Really what is ever of concern to the citizenry is something that we can address in some way or fashion in this plan. Now, as a city, it doesn't mean that we can solve all of these problems, but there's steps that we can take within our kind of scope of power and authority to maybe help as best we can. So the real key to this plan being successful, and the key to the success of our current plan, the Lewisville 2025 plan, is that it's based on public engagement. So this foundation of having a robust public input process is what helps all of our elected officials and all of our city leadership know what it is that the community wants. And that kind of sets us all on the same path. It lays out big moves or goals. So some of these are kind of very broad and all-encompassing, but then it can also give us strategies to help us achieve those goals. But since we know what the big goal is, and we're not just tied to specific strategies, when an opportunity arises that furthers that goal, we can take that opportunity, and it's in alignment with our plan. And it allows the community and city staff to align our work. We know that generally this is the direction we're going in, these are the goals that we have, and we can all move towards them together. And that's very helpful for everyone. And it's also very helpful for staff when we're making our recommendations to you and to the other boards and commissions that city staff serves. We make them in alignment with the vision plan of the city. So just to kind of recap our 2025 plan, if you aren't familiar with it, it was adopted in 2014 and it was updated in 2021. We like to have a touch point every 5 years with kind of a more major overhaul every 10 years. After about 5 years, enough things have changed that you do need to sort of touch base and check in and make some adjustments. And then after 10 years, we feel like enough has changed that we really just need to go back out to the community, make sure what we're doing is still relevant and still in alignment with what the community's desires are. But in 2021, what came out of it is we have 3 strategic moves that are being a values-driven organization, a data-driven organization, and a connected city. And we have 7 big moves, which is the green center piece, that's the Lewisville Lake Environmental Learning Area, extending that green, meaning that we have that kind of green natural part that extends through all the city so everyone has access to a park, a trail to get to green space. Old Town, obviously there's been a lot of movement and development in Old Town over the past 10 years. Diverse and thriving neighborhoods, and this really supports all of those regular services that the city provides, police, fire, libraries, making sure that we have good streets in our neighborhoods, all those types of things. Economic vitality, identity, place, and communications, and sustainability. So some of the things that we've achieved in our most recent annual report, because every year we put out a report saying what the city has done to further our implementation of the plan. So for diverse and thriving neighborhoods, we have a public facility corporation, and that's allowing us to provide affordable housing or partner with affordable housing developers to make that happen in our community. We've adopted standards that allow backyard cottages. We're working on amending those to make them a little bit more permissive, since we found some areas where they don't quite work out as well as we thought they would. We've built the Tittle McFadden Public Safety Center, and we've done several neighborhood street reconstruction projects. In terms of extending the green, we've recently built Glory Park. We're working on a new park in Old Town. We hired an urban forester, and we're working on the Timber Creek Trail extension, which will connect Central Park to many communities that are near it. In terms of the big move of Old Town, we obviously have a lot of current development happening in Old Town. A lot of that is private. Initially, the city was sometimes partnering with private developers, and now we found that a lot of them can just make their projects happen without necessarily partnership, which is great. There's a beer garden under construction that's anticipated to open in mid-September. I know folks are excited about. We have a new pocket park under construction, and we're also working on streets in Old Town. So there's a lot happening in Old Town. And then when we talk about the strategic move of connected city, some of the things we've done is we have a new dispatch system in place, and we're working on the corporate drive extension, which will be another big east-west connector for the city and have a trail along it. So that connects us both physically, and we also do Wi-Fi implementation projects in different parks and things to connect us in a different way. So there's really a lot of things that kind of fall under that connected city strategic goal. But where we are in this project in terms of phasing is we've finished the initiation phase and we're in the big issues phase. And so the initiation phase was mostly staff and the adopted consultant team trying to kind of lay out what we're gonna do, compiling all the different data that we need to inform the process. And we're here now at Big Issues trying to get engagement from the community. So we have teams of staff with directors, managers, and other key staff that are going out to community events, that are giving this very similar presentation, that are doing this engagement activity, just to get as much feedback as we can. Us and our consultant team are also going to do pop-up events at different community events. We were at the back to school fair that the Lewisville Independent School District had with this plan and process. The next phase is kind of being like, okay, well, now that we know what the big issues are, what the big concerns and the big opportunities are, what are our big ideas? Like, how do we take advantage of these? How do we address these? So that'll kind of start in October and go through December. Then after that, we'll move on to what we call big moves. Okay, so what are the next big moves? We like this framework, and City Council likes the framework where we had the 7 big moves. It was originally 9, and then we went to 7 with strategic moves. We like this big moves concept. It's been working really well for us. It gives us enough structure, but with enough flexibility to adapt if we need to. So we want to kind of keep that approach, but what are they this time? They might be the same. There might be some that are still the same, or they might be entirely new. That's entirely up to the input that we get from the citizens in the community. And then big action, that's actually drafting the plan itself, making sure we finalized it, coming forward, and then hopefully looking for adoption in September of 26. So a little more than a year out. So diving a little bit more into the big issues phase that we're in, we're trying to analyze changes in the physical, social, jurisdictional conditions in the city since our last plan, and identify the big issues that are currently being experienced by and impacting our residents and our business owners, really everybody in the community. So we have online virtual engagements. Those are on our project website, which is LewisvilleTX2035.com. We're doing the neighborhood and community outreach that I was just describing earlier. We have a steering committee that a number of you actually are on, and we're working towards the culmination of this event is at our Community Vision Workshop #1, which is going to be held on September 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Lewisville Grand Theater. And that's open to the entire community, and we're really hoping to get a really good turnout. We're trying to double our engagement from the last time that we did this. So we've got online engagements where that's preferred. We've got social media outreach going on as well. We're really trying to reach every member of the community where we can and where they're at. But again, all these big issues that we identify, the idea is that those then we use those to generate our big ideas. From our big ideas, we come up with what our big moves are, and all of that together will form the plan, which is our big action that we're taking with this process. And so we do have an engagement activity that I, again, am not going to do with you all tonight because most of us have done it, and this format's really difficult to do it in. But there is the worksheet #1, which is an individual worksheet that I encourage you and really anybody in the community to kind of complete at home. And so you can go to this in the packet and you can use this URL or the QR code to complete that at your leisure. And then we also have a second one. If you're really excited about this and you just want to give me more input, that's great. You can also do this third one as well. And if you have a group that you know is meeting in the month of August or before that September 18th Community Vision Workshop, please email me, let me know. I'm happy to come and talk to your group. If it's a book club, if it's your HOA, if it's a scout troop, we're happy to be out there and just talk to people and let them know about this process and also gather their input. We have really 4 or 5 main questions that we ask people to answer by themselves, and then we put them in small groups and ask them to talk about their answers and see where there's commonalities, so we can kind of see what's important to the community. So kind of the next steps, like I mentioned, we have our Community Vision Workshop. That's going to be on Thursday, September 18th at the Grand Theater from 5 to 8 p.m. You can look at LewisvilleTX2035.com and you can actually answer those same engagement questions. There's a link on the website to those same questions. That's another way to get there. And you can also follow us at Lewisville2035 on Facebook and Instagram. We're posting about twice a week. Right now we're doing a social media challenge called Lewisville Then and Now, where we're posting pictures of kind of historical landmarks and asking for people's memories or photographs of the same place. And so that's been kind of fun to engage with. And then lastly, I'll just kind of say thank you. And then always, if you have any issues or questions that are unrelated to Lewisville 2035, we do have a product called LewisvilleTX.citysource.com, and this is a really great app where you can pay your utility bills, you can report a code violation. I don't know that enough people are really using that app, but it's very effective. We love it. So just a plug for that at the end here. Does anyone have any questions over Lewisville 2035? All right, well, thank you very much.
All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have a selection of chair and vice chair. I will now entertain a motion to select the chair and vice chair.
Well, if I might, I would like to make a motion to nominate John for the chairperson. I will also be happy to throw my name in the hat for the vice chair, if you would like to consider that.
Okay. Anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
No.
Okay, let's vote.
We do need a second on the motion.
I second the motion.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you.
All right, so the motion passes.
So do we need to vote for the vice chair, or was that sufficient to get it all in one deal?
That was sufficient. So we believe that you were nominating yourself for the vice chair.
Yes, I was.
Yes, okay.
Yes, okay. Thank you. This is a short chair up here. I can't see.
All right, next item, next item on the agenda is the adjournment. That concludes the meeting for this evening. I will now entertain the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
First one is Rick. Second, do I have a second?
I have a second. Second.
Kimberly does a second.
Oh, shoot, I need to vote. Excuse me.
All right, we have, a motion passes. The meeting is adjourned.